But energy givers. Teachers are energy givers. There's some work done by Tim Brighouse on how to be a leader in a school. And the middle cog of that is to create energy. And that's the key for me. When I'm appointing new staff, when we're doing that, I ask myself, does the room light up when they enter, or does the room light up when they leave? And if the room lights up when they leave, then they're not for us. Because actually, I want people to listen to you. I want you to be engaging. I can teach you to teach. I can give you that structure. I can help you through that. But I can't teach you a personality. That's quite hard to tell somebody in feedback when they've been unsuccessful. That's quite a difficult sell. I normally go for the written feedback option. So if you're ever in that position where you've got to give feedback, I always say, I would do you a disservice to do it on the phone now, because it's been a long day and obviously a very, very difficult choice. You were second. I say that to everybody. But I'll put it in writing for you. So that, how do you see that in appointing a new teacher? Well, we try very hard to do so. These slides are ones I show new parents who are looking around the school. This is something that I do at open evening. It's a selection of my open evening slides. So this is the one that I'd spend the most time talking about. And that all of those things signify something in my school. So the first one is we're an air traffic controller school. Air traffic controllers don't fail, nor do we. If air traffic controllers fail, people die. If we fail, people don't live the life they deserve. So we have to be a no-fail organisation. Is that possible? No, probably not. Am I going to die trying? Absolutely. Absolutely right, and I expect the same of my staff. Doesn't matter how you get there, there's always a way. That's what that photo means. It's not always the obvious path you take, but there will be a way to get to the end result, one way or the other. We have to find it. That's our job. We're all in it together. Okay, that's an obvious one. These two things, you can't succeed without perseverance, especially when you're working with fantastic young people who sometimes give up a little bit too easy. And you have to keep going and reinventing the wheel if you need to. I fundamentally disagree with exclusions. Doesn't mean I don't do it. If a child swears at an adult in my school, I exclude them. There's no conversation. You know have you sworn at him? Yes, sir, I swore at him. The door's there, you know where to go. That I won't allow that to be the case. My teachers are not paid enough to be abused. But I will not permanently exclude a child unless there is absolutely nothing left to do, and I mean nothing left to do. Begging other schools to take him, whatever we need to do, we do that. And the final one, which is a really important one for staff, is sometimes you've just got to pick yourself up and get on with it. Because it's how it feels. Especially with 1 week left to go this half term. How did that happen? How have we got another week to go? I'm certainly feeling like Mr. Orange there at the moment, because I'm knackered. So am they. That's my favourite photograph, actually, that signifies my school. It's a photograph from a Zen Buddhist website, in fact, about Zen meditation. But that, for me, is exactly what our school should be about. We should be able to do those other things, keep those things at the core of what we do, make sure they don't fail, drag them over the line, kicking and screaming if we have to. But ultimately, we are behaving in whatever their storm is outside of school. We have to be consistent. We have to do the same thing every day. Sometimes that's difficult, but we do. We have to give them the boundaries. There's a little clip I'm going to show you from the series, which I think shows what that kind of tough care actually is like. Actually from two very different perspectives. One where that tough care means you have to make a decision that you don't want to make, and that we all have to do that. And one where actually, by providing boundaries and acceptance of difference, somebody flourishes. It's about 2 minutes long, so bear with me. It's Leavers Day. We might have to start it again. Let's try again and see if it runs about a second. All of this. Please work. If not, we'll have to skip it. We're going to struggle with that. Any suggestions at the back? It's Leavers Day. Do this video yourself. Do you want to give me your memory stick?
All of the students who have completed the school year are here.
We officially mark the start of their exam period. It's a day where they come in their own clothing, we give them sort of a leaving certificate.
Alex, wait!
We'll try it somewhere different, if not we'll give up and I'll just act it out. In a mime style. You going to join me? Just sort of nuts. Any volunteers for a bit of role play? We love role play, don't we? As teachers, we love role play. Where are we going? Right, we've got our few files. Vic. Clip 1, let's try that one. See if it works better without it being puppies. I'm not thinking it's going to. Yeah, so let's begin it. For those that saw the series, that's Vinny not going to his prom and Ryan standing up in his leavers assembly. Now Ryan was a young man with Asperger's who arrived to us in year 9. Ryan, like many young people with Asperger's, doesn't understand rhetorical questions. And the first time I met him he was in the January first day of term when he just arrived. And I was in a whole school assembly, which is full of rhetorical questions, like all good assemblies are. Try and make him think. Ryan's hand was up for every single one of those rhetorical questions, trying to answer them. And for those that didn't watch the series, Ryan and I was saying goodbye to year 11. Not that they have study leave and not that they get any time off, but regardless, they still want that day of saying goodbye. And Ryan stood up and spoke about family and spoke about this place that we care for each other. Because Ryan's experience of education to that point was that as a 14-year-old boy, he was put in a class of 8-year-olds in Spain. Because he was kept in primary school because of Asperger's. Ryan spoke fluent Spanish. Fluent Spanish. Ryan is a remarkable human being. Just by seeing him, he makes you smile. What a talent that is. But he felt loved, cared for, and could be himself. Vinny, however, chose not to be part of our school life, and I had to make a decision not to send him to his prom. And for those that have seen the series, you're probably expecting me to be crying right now, because that's what I normally do, but didn't, and it was tough. I mean, I still see Vinny about once a fortnight. I haven't seen him for 2 weeks actually, so I'll make sure I catch up with him next week and take him out for a coffee to see how life is, and he's doing all right, living on his own, in his plumbing course, you know, all those sorts of things. So he's doing okay. I still think I let him down. I still think I failed him. That's the only time actually my mum phoned me up after that episode and said, "What do you mean you let him down? You worked really hard." You know, I'm like, "Mum, I can't accept being part of his successes without accepting I'm also part of his failures." And that's really important, and we have to accept that as professionals. We have to look in the mirror, not out the window, for where the problems lie. And we do that better than any profession in the world, I think, because we beat ourselves up when kids don't pass and kids don't reach their potential. Hello, there's somebody waiting there. You can't see what I can see, but there's a bloke on the screen here in Jakarta. Hello. Doesn't know who I am either. Where was I? Over here, let's go back to you. Done you. Done you. Oh, I'm the last one. Where you got on slideshow? There we go. We do make a difference, and regardless of what you read in that scummy newspaper, the Daily Mail, regardless of what other people may say who are supposed to be looking after our profession, who are supposed to be leading us into the new world, no matter what they say, we make a difference. Not an exam syllabus or them moving the grade boundaries. It's actually the humanity of our job that makes a difference. You will all have seen this poem. You'll all have heard it. I don't care. I love it, so you're going to hear it again. Please work. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that to me. Did you take your memory stick away? You did, you little monkey.
Here we go.
Thank you. It's all gone very smoothly, have you noticed? Let's try this again. Here we go. Please work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to bore you and read it. Sounds? Come on, give me sounds. You might have to read it yourselves. Bugger me. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to read it. He says the problem with teachers is what's a kid going to learn from someone whose best choice... I'm going to read it without... I know it, so it's good, isn't it? Please!
He reminds the other dinner guests that you know...
I'm sure you know it. It's the best poem in the world, I think. Now we can hear it, can we?
He says the problem with teachers is what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided that his best option in life was to become a teacher? He reminds the other dinner guests that, you know, it's true what they say about teachers. Those who can, do. And those who can't, teach. I decide to bite my tongue instead of his. And resist the urge to remind the other dinner guests that it's also true what they say about lawyers, because we're eating, after all. And this is supposed to be polite conversation. I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor. Come on, be honest. What do you make? And I wish he hadn't done that. Asked me to be honest. Because you see, I have this little policy in my classroom about honesty and kicking, which is, if you ask for it, then I have to let you have it. You want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I can make a C+ feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor, and I can make an A- feel like a slap in the face. How dare you waste my time with anything less than your very best? I make kids sit through 40 minutes of study hall in absolute silence. No, you may not work in groups. No, you cannot ask me a question. So put your hand down. Why won't I let you go to the bathroom? Because you're bored. And you don't really have to go to the bathroom, do you? I make parents tremble in fear when I call home at around dinner time. Hi, this is Mr. Molly. I hope I haven't called at a bad time. I just wanted to talk to you about something that your son said today. To the biggest bully in the class, he said, leave that kid alone. I still cry sometimes, don't you? And it was the noblest act of courage that I have ever seen. I make parents see their children for who they are and who they can be. You want to know what I make? I make kids wonder. I make them question. I make them criticize. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them write, and then I make them read. I make them spell. Definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, divinely beautiful, until they will never misspell either one of those words again. I make them show all their work in math class and then hide it on their final drafts in English. I make them realize that if you've got this, then you follow this. And if somebody ever tries to judge you based on what you make, you give them this. Here, let me break it down for you so you know what I say is true. I make a difference. Now, what about you?
Taylor Malley's an English teacher in the States, does poetry slams. That's one of the things he does. If you haven't got it, if you Google it or go to YouTube, there's 1,000 different versions of it. That's just one that I stole. For me, as a head teacher, and I still put the emphasis on the teacher part of it, the head bit normally goes with the word before that in the kids' minds, I'm sure. But for me, the teacher part of me, the head teacher part of me, I am amazed by what the new generation of teachers are doing. I'm amazed at the use of Twitter and the use of social media and all those other things that the YouTube generation that's now through into teaching. And that's brilliant, because actually they can relate to this lot much better than I can. Because yeah, I still use my mobile phone a lot, but I'm still playing trombone, tuning it in so I can see it. And that's not cool, according to the kids. But I honestly, this is an opportunity for me to say thank you for the children you serve. They won't tell you that. They will when they're 22 or 23 and you bump into them in the pub if you're sober enough. And they will say thank you then, or I wish I'd done that, sir. But we do make a difference, and you need to be realising, regardless of what it says on the front of any paper, that this generation of children work harder than we ever worked. Actually, to get the exams they got, they're not dumbed down. They work really hard to do that. Much harder than I did. I was lazy. So we need to stand up to what's going on in the world and say, actually, that isn't true. I'm not going to let you demean them. I'm not going to demean me. And I'm going to be proud of my profession, because it's the best profession in the world, I absolutely promise you. I hope you have a really interesting night. Thanks.